did was I attached onto this email these two worksheets, and I'm going to do a couple of them with you, or you can watch me do them, then trial the rest and send it to me so I can check them, and then we'll move on to the next one. So this is just to help you get going. So we're going to keep working on functions, and here I gave you 4 different types. And basically here I'm going to run through these circled ones that I did. F of 10, we kind of did this in the last packet. This would mean, notice these are labeled different letters. F of 10 means we're going to go to the F function and plug 10 in for x into that. So the final answer would be 15, right? So that means go to the G function, go to the H function, right? Now, this one here, I'm not sure you guys did last year. It's called the composition of functions. It's when you're doing more than one. And there's 2 different ways of showing it. One way is F, little open circle G, that means composition of functions. Or you can write them with parentheses. These both mean the same thing. And the work is the same. The rule is you always do the one closest to the number first. So that means I'm going to go to the G formula and plug in -12. So if I look up here, the G formula is, that means I'd put the -12 here. So I would do -12 over 4, and that makes -3. Now that's not the answer yet. After you do this, you now take your new answer and plug it into the next one, F. And F is this one again. So that means I'm doing 2 times -3 minus 5, which would make -11, and that final answer is the answer. So you always do the function closest to the number first. So same deal here for number 5. Notice the F is closest to the 5, so that means I'm going to go up, use the F function again. Oop, there it is. So I'm going to do 2. That's your like midway point. What we're going to do now is plug 5 into H, which is this guy. So I end up with radical 5. And the final number you get is the final answer. Okay, next one. Now, in this one, you notice there isn't a number, it's just an x. This means all we're going to do is find a formula. So we're going to combine the 2. So again, you still do the one closest first. So that means go to the H formula, which is this guy, radical x. And then what you do is you take the G formula. So you take the G formula, which is normally x over 4, but instead of writing x, you're going to use the formula from the step before it, which would make radical x over 4. All right, so give those a try on that page. So finish the rest of this, see if you could figure it out. And on the next page, I'm going to do this whole top one, okay? And that'll help you out on both pages. So one way of doing this is either with equations, or you could do it with a diagram. And if you notice, the first one says f at 0. Now again, remember, if you're thinking how functions are written, f of x, whatever number is in the parenthesis is in the x location. So that's where we're looking on the x-axis. That means go to the x-axis at 0. Where do you see a point? 0. And you're always giving me a y value as an answer. Right? So part B here, go to -2 on the x-axis. Where do we see a point? Right here at the point -2, +2. The y value is the answer. All right, now go to 4 on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's the point 40. The y value is the answer. Now, this is a little different. This is f of x equals 4. Now, if the number was in the parenthesis, that's where you would look on the x-axis. But this time they're giving us the y value first. So what I like to do for these is you go to the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, go to 4. I like to draw a horizontal line, and wherever that hits is the answer. Now notice that is the point. Now we're going to do this one, f of x equals -1. Draw a horizontal line across -1. Where does it hit? Right here at the point 1, 2, 3, -3, -1. Well, we need the x, so x equals -3. All right, there's one final one I want to do with you. It's the very last question on here. It's pretty difficult. It's a composition of functions where I give you the answer first. Now, if you notice here, when I gave you the answer 4, we drew a horizontal line. and then you gave me the x. So we're going to do the same deal here. We're going to draw a horizontal line across -2. Now notice this is a two-step piece. And if I go back to these, what was the last thing we did in order to get the final answer? We did F last. So if this is the final answer, that means G made it. So that means I have to go to the G diagram and draw a horizontal line across -2. Okay, and that hits at the point -2, -2. So I need the x value. So that means I have x equals -2. But that came from this first step, so we still need him. So now I'm going to go to the F, this guy, draw a line across -2. Oh, look, I hit in two spots. This hits at -3, -2. And this one hits at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2. So this actually has two answers. X equals -3 and x equals 5. These, now a way of checking is if you went the other direction, if you plug that in for -3, did this work? You should get that answer. And if you put 5 in there, you should get that answer. All right, so now that I did those, why don't you try the rest of these? I'll check them, give you some feedback, and then I'm going to send you another worksheet, and we'll see how that